Krishna. Okay. Where's my karto player? There she is. So where is the yellow one? The yellow one is otherwise engaged in the lounge. All right, I think I can use this. Can't be too bad. Oh. Well, Chad is ill. He thinks he might have COVID. He's just right over here at Manibandhani's place. I called him. Sometimes he goes to Nebraska, but he didn't go. So, but it's a mild case, so I think he'll be okay. All right, that'll do. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari Yashodanandana Vrajajana Ranjana Yashodanandana Vrajajana Ranjana Yamunatiravanachari Yamunatiravanachari Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Vishnupad Paramahansa Padavijacharya Ashtottara Sri Srimad His Divine Grace Srila A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada Ki Jai. ISKCON BBT Founder Acharya Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Jai Om Vishnupad Paramahansa Padavijacharya Ashtottara Sri Srimad His Divine Grace Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Ki Jai. Ananda Koti Vaishnavinda Ki Jai. Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur Ki Jai. Srimad Bhagavad Gita Ki Jai. Samaveda Bhaktivinoda Ki Jai. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glory to Sri Guru and Gauranga. Okay. Okay. Can we get a stand for her also at the end? You have one. Okay, very good, very good. All right. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. On this 21st day of October 2025 in San Diego, we're reading from Srimad Bhagavad Gita as it is, translation and commentary by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. And we are beginning chapter 11 tonight on page 459. Okay. And this chapter is entitled The Universal Form. Arjuna Vacha Madanugrahaya Paramam Guhyam Adhyatma Sangitam Yat Tvayoktam Vajastena Mohoyam Vigato Mama. Arjuna Uvacha Madanungrahaya Paramam Guhyam Adhyatma Sangitam Yat Tvayoktam Vachastena Mohoyam Vigato Mama. Arjuna Uvacha Madanungrahaya Paramam Guhyam Adhyatma Sangitam Yat Tvayoktam Vachastena Mohoyam Vigato Mama. Arjuna Uvacha Madanugrahaya Paramam Guhyam Adhyatma Sangitam Yat Tvayoktam Vachastena Mohoyam Vigato Mama. Chad, you there? No. Okay. Bhakti Joseph, go ahead. Madanugrahaya Paramam Guhyam Adhyatma Sangitam Yat Tvayoktam Vachastena Mohoyam Vigato Mama. Nelson, go ahead. Arjuna Vacha Madanugrahaya Paramam Guhyam Adhyatma Sangitam Yat Tvayoktam Vachastena Mohoyam Vigato Mama. 30. Arjuna Vacha Madanugrahaya Paramam Guhyam Adhyatma Sangitam Yat Tvayoktam Vachastena Mohoyam Vigato Mama. Come on in. Okay. Uh-oh. Give him that chair. I don't know who's in this chair, but anyway. Go ahead. Move it over there if he comes back in. Okay. Anyone else? Go ahead, Louis. Arjuna Vacha Madanugrahaya Paramam Guhyam Adhyatma Sangitam Yad Tvayoktam Vachastena Mohoyam Vigato Mama. Ladies. Arjuna Uvacha Madanugrahaya Paramam Guhyam Adhyatma Sangitam Yat Tvayoktam Vachastena Mohoyam Vigato Mama. Arjuna Uvacha Madanugrahaya paramam guhyamadhyatma sangitam yatvayoktam vachastena mohoyam vikato mama. Arjuna uvacha Madanugrahaya paramam guhyamadhyatma sangitam yatvayoktam vachastena mohoyam vikato mama. All right, I'll read the word by words. Arjuna uvacha, Arjuna said, mat anugrahaya, just to show me favor, paramam, supreme, guhyam, confidential subject, adhyatma, spiritual, sangitam, in the matter of, yat, what, vaya, by you, uktam, said, vachaha, words, tena, by that, mohaha, illusion, ayam, this, vigataha, is removed, mama, my. Arjuna said, by my hearing the instructions you have kindly given me about these most confidential spiritual subjects, my illusion has now been dispelled. Purport. This chapter reveals Krishna as the cause of all causes. He is even the cause of the Mahavishnu, from whom the material universes emanate. Krishna is not an incarnation. He is the source of all incarnations. That has been completely explained in the last chapter. Now, as far as Arjuna is concerned, he says that his illusion is over. This means that Arjuna no longer thinks of Krishna as a mere human being, as a friend of his, but as the source of everything. Arjuna is very enlightened and is glad that he has such a great friend as Krishna, but now he is thinking that although he may accept Krishna as the source of everything, others may not. So in order to establish Krishna's divinity for all, he is requesting Krishna in this chapter to show his universal form. Actually, when one sees the universal form of Krishna, one becomes frightened, like Arjuna. But Krishna is so kind that after showing it, he converts himself again into his original form. Arjuna agrees to what Krishna has several times said. Krishna is speaking to him just for his benefit. So Arjuna acknowledges that all this is happening to him by Krishna's grace. He is now convinced that Krishna is the cause of all causes and is present in everyone's heart as the Supersoul. Om jnana timirandasya jnanandana shalakaya chakshu unmilitam mena tasmai shri gurave namaha. I was born in the darkest of ignorance, but my spiritual master Srila Prabhupada opened my eyes with the torch of knowledge. I offer my humble obeisance unto him and all members of Sri Parampara, the disciplic succession. Now, one note about this first verse here. So Prabhupada begins the purport. Chapter reveals that Krishna is the cause. He is even the cause of Mahavishnu, from whom the material universes emanate. Now, as far as Arjuna is concerned, he says that his illusion is over. So there's a real mood of thankfulness and relief here that Arjuna is expressing in the first verse. And one way that he expresses it, which you probably didn't notice, is that the very first line of this verse has 9 syllables rather than 8. Madanugrahaya paramam. This is one of the ways in which the poetry can express a higher emotion like that. Just wanted to bring that out. So this chapter is famous in one sense because of one verse in the chapter where Arjuna, after he's completely blown away, by the universal form, Krishna's. He shows him a preview of what's going to happen when the battle actually starts, and there's the universal form, and the opposing soldiers are in his jaws, and he's chewing them, and he's killing them that way. It's like, whoa, is this my Krishna, my beloved Krishna? So Arjuna is he's scared. So Arjuna said, well, who are you anyway? He says, who are you? Because this is not my beloved Krishna with the flute. So Krishna says this verse, Kalos miloka chayakut pravidho, and I forget the rest of it. But basically along this line it says, I am time, the destroyer of all. And I've come to destroy everything, basically saying that. This is like, in this last chapter, he twice said it, he's time, in a different context, and now in the third time he says it. So time is Very powerful force, obviously. Now, I didn't see the movie, but there was a movie made a few years ago on the making of the atom bomb, right? And Robert Oppenheimer was the chief. I don't know who played him or what. I didn't see the movie, but I did see an advertisement somewhere online somewhere, and it showed his bedstead, his table beside his bed, and there was a little statue of Krishna. You seen that? He was a student of Bhagavad Gita to some degree. And when the first bomb was going to be blown up in Alamogordo, right, New Mexico, I read that they weren't quite sure. There was a possibility that everything would be blown up. The whole universe would be blown up, but they went ahead anyway because they wanted to end the war. This is what. So the first one, and when he saw that bomb, and they were all protected and everything, he saw that bomb blowing up. He chanted that verse. He cited that verse. Kalos miloka kshayakrit pavido. Oppenheimer. He was a student of Bhagavad Gita. So I thought that was very interesting. And indeed, this Krishna shows a radically different aspect of himself here. And the universal form it means different things. The universal form is in the second canto. There's a chapter called The First Step in God Realization. And it's all a description of the universal form, meaning that we can begin our Krishna consciousness, make the first part of our entering into Krishna consciousness is trying to see Krishna everywhere. And one way of doing that is to see the things of this world, just like in the last chapter he said. It says, the bodies of water, I am the ocean. So we have a good way of checking that one out. And if you go down to the beach there, it's very impressive, very powerful, very large, And so, and I am the sun and the moon are my eyes, and the mountains are the bones of the universal form. So it's not the all-attractive Krishna that we're trying to love, but it's a way of bringing God into your everyday life even more. And it starts in the seventh chapter. Where and Prabhupada made it very clear, which I think near the end of the book he'll make it clear, the 18th chapter, that the middle 6 chapters are the essence of the Bhagavad Gita. They're the most important. And if you remember, the 6th chapter was all about Ashtanga yoga, classic yoga, meditating, sitting right, looking between the eyebrows, which I'm not even going to try to do, and the breathing, right, pranayama, pratyahara, dharana. So he went through it pretty detailed, and it's an important instruction there, of course, for us. But then after he finished, Arjuna said, I don't think I can do it, The mind is so powerful, it's like a hurricane, it's like an uncontrolled wind. Chanchalam hi mana Krishna pramati balabhadridham tasyaham niguham manye vayu ivasaduskaram. Chanchalam, first of all, is very flickering. We know the mind likes to go here and there. And it's very obstinate, and it's very powerful. And I think trying to control the mind, as you said, is like trying to control the wind. I don't think I can do it. So Krishna, yes, you can do it with practice. You can do it. And then Arjuna says, well, what happens if I fail? I'll go to the mountains, I'll do this, I'll give my life. And then I'll fail. It's like a riven cloud. I won't have a standing in any sphere. A failed yogi and a failed kshatriya, so my life is over. So he was very pessimistic. So Krishna said, well, look, if you fail, then you'll get born in a very wealthy family, but pious family, so you won't have to worry about money, and you'll be able to practice yoga. Or into a family of yogis, that's the best, and you'll make further progress, like that. But all in all, Arjuna was not so into it, Ashtanga yoga. So then at the end, the very last verse is a very famous verse, because Krishna's encouraging him now. He said, Yoginama bisarvesham madgatena antaratmana shraddhabam bhajate yomam samme yuktita momata. Of all yogis, those who are always thinking of me within themselves and worshiping me with great and transcendental faith, they're the best of all. A big relief. You can almost hear Arjuna. Thank God, I'm already doing that. He's his best friend. He's always thinking of Krishna. Life after life, he's an intimate devotee of Krishna. So that was the way that chapter ended. But then the beginning of the next chapter, Krishna, he begins describing bhakti. And he says, Maya saktamanaparta yogam yunjamanasya. Now I'm going to show you a practical means by which your mind can become progressively more attracted to me, which is really the ultimate goal. And he then proceeds to describe this world. It's almost like Sankhya, meaning analyzing the elements of the world. Bhumarapa onamabhaya, earth, water, fire, air, ether, mind, intelligence, and false ego. These are all the 8 material energies, progressively subtler form, starting with earth. And then water, fire, air, ether, which is space, more or less. And then our internal senses, mind, intelligence, and ego. These are also material elements. So these are my aparaya mitasthun. These are the apara. They're not transcendental. They're all material. But there's also a transcendental energy, and that is us. That is the jivas. In every body which is composed of these things, there is a living soul. And that soul never dies, never born. That's at the beginning in the 2nd chapter. So then he goes on, and he starts describing how one can see Krishna in our ordinary experiences. I am the taste of water. I am the light of the sun and the moon. I am the ability in man. Like this, he has a whole list there. And in what sense is Krishna those things? He's those things because they are our sensation of seeing the light of the sun. How does it happen? Well, we're the jivas inside, but we're depending on this construction of the body with its mind and intelligence and senses to perceive the sun. And the sun itself is, of course, made of fire and everything, which is part of Krishna's energy. So our whole experience of this world is a result of Krishna's arrangement. Our senses, the lower material energy and the varieties and our ability to see and all of that is all coming from Krishna. So if we see the world and see our life, begin to see through the eyes of Shastra, we'll say, oh, okay, every time the sun rises, Krishna says he's that sunrise. And every time I drink some water or anything else, but hopefully within the realm of the 4 regular principles, you can think, oh, this is, but Prabhupada even said, he said that even the drunkard, because he had experience down in the Bowery, he had to walk over the drunks who were blocking his door before he could get upstairs. So he knows about that. So even they can make advancement in that way by remembering, oh, I'm drinking this is Krishna. We don't want to go there, So it starts in that 7th chapter, and then it progresses until we get to the 9th chapter, and 9th chapter ends with one of the 2 main essential verses of the Bhagavad Gita. Manmana bhavamad bhakto madhyaji mam namaskuru mamai vaishasi yuktaivam atmana matparayana. Just think of me, become my devotee, worship me and bow down to me and offer your homage to me. You'll come to me, I promise you. That in the 18th chapter he has the same verse. He has a promise because you're my dear friend. So that's the most confidential knowledge. Well, how is it confidential? Because we're distributing these books by the million in so many different languages. What's confidential about it? What's confidential about it is that it's not at all immediately evident that that's the way of perfection in this world. One has to really understand, the context of the Bhagavad Gita and accept that Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, that we are His parts and parcels, eternal servants, that we've lost that, and therefore, this we know from experience, we're going through all kinds of sufferings in this world, and so many dangers, and birth, old age, disease, and death, and the 3-fold miseries. That's the if you're in any kind of body, you're going to have to suffer those. So how is there a way to get rid of those rather than just to try to have sense gratification so you can forget them? That's really what the sense gratification is. Oh, I can forget. I'm immortal. Oh, I'm enjoying like anything. All right. And what happens when you get old, and sick? And then there's that big one, death. That's it. So is there any remedy for that? And the answer is yes, but it's a spiritual remedy. So here we're gonna. This chapter is it's a nail biter. It's pretty amazing. So Madan Ugrahaya, to show me mercy. Just to show me favor. Madan Ugrahaya Paramam. you've revealed these secrets, kind of given me most confidential spiritual subject. So my illusion has now been dispelled. Now you may think, well, that's it. The Gita is over. This illusion dispelled. Let's go for it. But no, he keeps asking questions for our benefit. One of the things about the universal form, because it's magnificent, only God can show it, and that Prabhupada gives us in one of the purports, because some people they claim to be God, unfortunately. Said, oh great, show me a universal form, and if they can't do it, then just he's a cheater. It's a good test. All right, so let's go on, unless there's questions or comments. Here we go. Bhavapyayo hi bhutanam Shuta Vistarasho Maya Tvata Kamalapatraksha Mahatmyam Apichavyayam. O Lotus-eyed One, I have heard from you in detail about the appearance and disappearance of every living entity and have realized your inexhaustible glories. Purport. Arjuna addresses Lord Krishna as lotus-eyed. Krishna's eyes appear just like the petals of a lotus flower. Out of his joy, for Krishna has assured him in the previous chapter, Aham Kritsnasya Jagatak Prabhavak Pralayastata. I am the source of the appearance and disappearance of the entire material manifestation. Close quote. Arjuna has heard of this from the Lord in detail. Arjuna further knows that in spite of Krishna's being the source of all appearances and disappearances, he is aloof from them. As the Lord has said in the 9th chapter, he is all-pervading. Yet he is not personally present everywhere. That is the inconceivable opulence of Krishna, which Arjuna admits that he has thoroughly understood. So this is all part and parcel of, Arjuna's feeling very, very happy that Krishna is showing him all this mercy. Madanugrahaya padamam, that you have shown me so much mercy by telling me all of this. And then he's going to ask for one more favor. Please show me a universal form. And Krishna says, okay, I'll show you, but you don't have the eyes to see. I got to give you the special eyes. And then it gets pretty amazing. You'll see. All right. Evam etad yathatatvam atmanam parameshwara drashtam ichchami te rupam aishwaram purushottama. O greatest of all personalities, O supreme form, though I see you here before me in your actual position, as you have described yourself, I wish to see how you have entered into this cosmic manifestation. I want to see that form of yours. Purport. The Lord said that because he entered into the material universe by his personal representation, the cosmic manifestation has been made possible and is going on. Now, as far as Arjuna is concerned, he is inspired by the statements of Krishna. But in order to convince others in the future who may think that Krishna is an ordinary person, Arjuna desires to see him actually in his universal form, to see how he is acting from within the universe, although he is apart from it. Arjuna's addressing the Lord as Parameshwara is also significant. Parameshwara means the supreme controller. Since the Lord is the supreme personality of Godhead, he is present within Arjuna himself. Therefore, he knows the desire of Arjuna, and he can understand that Arjuna has no special desire to see him in his universal form, for Arjuna is completely satisfied to see him in his personal form of Krishna. But the Lord can understand also that Arjuna wants to see the universal form to convince others. Arjuna did not have any personal desire for confirmation. Krishna also understands that Arjuna wants to see the universal form to set a criterion, for in the future there will be so many impostors who would pose themselves as incarnations of God. The people, therefore, should be careful. One who claims to be Krishna should be prepared to show his universal form to confirm his claim to the people. So, I think we can all agree, although historically, since the 60s anyway, there have been various incarnations, some of whom came to the West and tried to cash in. So this is and Prabhupada encountered, when he came in the mid-60s, and he encountered some of those who were claiming to be God, and those, the big rascals. So there's one test, he said, okay, show me a universal form. I'm going to see. None of them can do it. Okay, text 4. Manyase yaditat chakyam Maya drashtumati prabho yogeshvara tato me tvam darshayatmanam avyayam. If you think that I am able to behold your cosmic form, O my Lord, O Master of all mystic power, then kindly show me that unlimited universal self. Purport. It is said that one can neither see, hear, understand, nor perceive the Supreme Lord Krishna by the material senses. But if one is engaged in loving transcendental service to the Lord from the beginning, then one can see the Lord by revelation. Every living entity is only a spiritual spark. Therefore, it is not possible to see or to understand the Supreme Lord. Arjuna, as a devotee, does not depend on his speculative strength. Rather, he admits his limitations as a living entity and acknowledges Krishna's inestimable position. Arjuna could understand that for a living entity, it is not possible to understand the unlimited infinite. If the infinite reveals himself, then it is possible to understand the nature of the infinite by the grace of the infinite. The word Yogeshwara is also very significant here because the Lord has inconceivable power. Yogeshwara means the master of all yogis. If he likes, Krishna can reveal himself by his grace, although he is unlimited. Therefore, Arjuna pleads for the inconceivable grace of Krishna. He does not give Krishna orders. Krishna is not obliged to reveal himself unless one surrenders fully in Krishna consciousness and engages in devotional service. Oh, I'm sorry about that. This is a series of phone calls that I do not want to receive. Hare Krishna. Sorry about that. There was a blackout in my block, and they're telling me it's finished. Thank God. Okay, where was I? Yogeshwara. The word Yogeshwara is very significant because the Lord has inconceivable power. If he likes, he can reveal himself by his grace, although he's unlimited. Therefore, Arjuna pleads for the inconceivable grace of Krishna. He does not give Krishna orders. Krishna is not obliged to reveal himself unless one surrenders fully in Krishna consciousness and engages in devotional service. Thus, it is not possible for persons who depend on the strength of their mental speculations to see Krishna. So, I may forget, because I forget things, but can you remind me before the end of the class? I want to tell you about the miracle of the cane. Did I tell you already? Okay, yeah. It's pretty amazing, actually. Okay, where were we? So Arjuna is asking to see this universal form. And as Prabhupada explains in the purport, it's insurance because otherwise you can fall prey easily. You know, if you're somewhat of a seeker, you've read Autobiography of a Yogi, which everyone used to read in the 60s. You know, and then various incarnations come and try to get your attention and your faith and your money. So this is an insurance. And, well, that's very interesting. I didn't know you were Bhagavan. Can you show me your universal form? You know. And if they can, then you turn on your heel and walk out the door. All right. Now Krishna is going to answer now. And here we go. Shri Bhagavan Vacha Pashyame Parta Rupani Shadashot Sahasrashaha Nana Vidhani Divyani Nana Varnakutini Cha. The Supreme Personality of Godhead said, "My dear Arjuna, O son of Pritha, see now my opulences, hundreds of thousands of very divine and multicolored forms." Purport. Arjuna wanted to see Krishna in his universal form, which, although a transcendental form, is just manifested for the cosmic manifestation and is therefore subject to the temporary time of this material nature. As the material nature is manifested and not manifested, similarly this universal form of Krishna is manifested and not manifested. It is not eternally situated in the spiritual sky like Krishna's other forms. As far as the devotee is concerned, he is not eager to see the universal form. But because Arjuna wanted to see Krishna in this way, Krishna reveals this form. The universal form is not possible to be seen by any ordinary man. Krishna must give one the power to see it. Pasyadityan vasun rudran ashvanau maratas tatha bahunya dushtapurvani pasyascharya bharata. O best of the Bharatas, Bharatas means the descendants of King Bharat. O best of the Bharatas, see here the different manifestations of Adityas, Vasus, Rudras, Ashwini Kumaras, and all the other demigods. Behold the many wonderful things which no one has ever seen or heard of before. Purport. Even though Arjuna was a personal friend of Krishna and the most advanced of learned men, it was still not possible for him to know everything about Krishna. Here it is stated that humans have neither heard nor known of all these forms and manifestations. Now Krishna reveals these wonderful forms. Ihikastam jagat kritsnam pasyaja sacharachadam mama dehe gudakesha yachanyan drashtamicchasi. O Arjuna, whatever you wish to see, behold at once in this body of mine. This universal form can show you whatever you now desire to see and whatever you may want to see in the future. Everything, moving and non-moving, is here completely in one place. Report. No one can see the entire universe while sitting in one place. Even the most advanced scientists cannot see what is going on in other parts of the universe. But the devotee like Arjuna can see everything that exists in any part of the universe. Krishna gives him the power to see anything he wants to see, past, present, and future. Thus, by the mercy of Krishna, Arjuna is able to see everything. Natamam shakyase drashtum anenaiva svachakshusha divyam dadami te chakshu pashyame yogamaishwaram. But you cannot see me with your present eyes. Therefore I give you divine eyes. Behold my mystic opulence. Purport. A pure devotee does not like to see Krishna in any form except his form with two hands. A devotee must see his universal form by his grace, not with the mind but with spiritual eyes. To see the universal form of Krishna, Arjuna is told not to change his mind but his vision. The universal form of Krishna is not very important. That will be clear in subsequent verses. Yet because Arjuna wanted to see it, the Lord gives him the particular vision required to see that universal form. Devotees who are correctly situated in a transcendental relationship with Krishna are attracted by loving features, not by a godless display of opulences. The playmates of Krishna, the friends of Krishna, and the parents of Krishna never want Krishna to show his opulences. They are so immersed in pure love that they do not even know that Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. In their loving exchange, they forget that Krishna is the Supreme Lord. In the Srimad Bhagavatam, it is stated that the boys who play with Krishna are all highly pious souls, and after many, many births, they are able to play with Krishna. Such boys do not know that Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. They take him as a personal friend. Therefore, Shukadeva Goswami recites this verse, Ittam satam brahma sukhanubhutya dasyam gatanam padadaivatena mayashitanam nadadarakena sakam bhajagru kritapunya punja. Here is the Supreme Person, who is considered the impersonal Brahman by great sages, the Supreme Personality of Godhead by devotees, and a product of material nature by ordinary men. Now these boys, who have performed many, many pious activities in their past lives, are playing with that Supreme Personality of Godhead. Srimad Bhagavatam 10, 12, 11. The fact is that the devotee is not concerned with seeing the Vishvarupa, the universal form. But Arjuna wanted to see it to substantiate Krishna's statements so that in the future people could understand that Krishna not only theoretically or philosophically presented himself as the Supreme, but actually presented himself as such to Arjuna. Arjuna must confirm this because Arjuna is the beginning of the Parampara system. Those who are actually interested in understanding the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna, and who follow in the footsteps of Arjuna should understand that Krishna not only theoretically presented himself as the Supreme, but actually revealed himself as the Supreme. The Lord gave Arjuna the necessary power to see his universal form because he knew that Arjuna did not particularly want to see it, as we have already explained. Okay, so Arjuna is going through this austerity, if you will, for our sake, so that we'll believe in Krishna as God and surrender as well. It's part of that. Sanjaya Uvacha Eva Muktva Tato Rajan Mahayogeshwaro Harihi Darshayamasa Partaya Paramam Rupamaishwaram. Sanjaya said, O king, having spoken thus, the Supreme Lord of all mystic power, the personality of Godhead, displayed his universal form to Arjuna. And before we continue, this chapter is full of, now we're going to get this incredible description of the universal form and Arjuna's reaction to it. But at the very end, the last verse of the chapter, Mat Karmakun Mat Padamo, it begins, is like the essence of devotional service. And Prabhupada says right at the beginning, in the first couple of sentences, this verse comprises the essence of the philosophy of Bhagavad Gita. So it was one of the first verses I ever memorized. So, but between here and there, we're going to go through this whole amazing experience of experiencing the universal form. But then at the end, he has a very concise description of bhakti. So Bhagavad Gita, there are many surprises if you have to find them. So now here we go with the description, 10 and 11, right? Aneka bhakta nayanam. What does aneka mean? We see three times. Aneka means many, not one, but many. Aneka means not one. Aneka bhakta nayanam. Aneka bhuta darshanam. Aneka divya bhadanam. Divyaneko ditayudham. Divyamalyam bhadadam. Divyagandhanulepanam. Sarvashchayamayam devam. Anantam vishvatomukam. Arjuna saw in that universal form unlimited mouths, unlimited eyes, unlimited wonderful visions. The form was decorated with many celestial ornaments and bore many divine upraised weapons. He wore celestial garlands and garments, and many divine scents were smeared over his body. All was wondrous, brilliant, unlimited, all expanding. Purport. In these two verses, the repeated use of the word many, aneka, the first verse has it 4 times, many indicates that there was no limit to the number of hands, mouths, legs, and other manifestations Arjuna was seeing. These manifestations were distributed throughout the universe, but by the grace of the Lord, Arjuna could see them while sitting in one place. That was due to the inconceivable potency of Krishna. Divisurya sahasrasya bhaved yugaparuttita yaribha sadrishi sasyad bhasastasya mahatmanaha. If hundreds of thousands of suns were to rise at once into the sky, their radiance might resemble the effulgence of the Supreme Person in that universal form. Purport. What Arjuna saw was indescribable, yet Sanjaya is trying to give a mental picture of that great revelation to Dhritarashtra. So you have to see the context. They're sitting back in Hastinapur, Sanjaya and Dhritarashtra. Dhritarashtra is blind, so he can't see anything, but Sanjaya has been given the power to see at a distance. So he's witnessing it all and hearing, and he's got his little iPhone, he's recording. No, I'm just kidding, but he can remember it all. and he's telling it. So Dhritarashtra, you can imagine, he can't see, but he's getting this description and he's visualizing it all. So that's what this is all about. Neither Sanjaya nor Dhritarashtra was present, but Sanjaya, by the grace of Vyasa, could see whatever happened. Thus he now compares the situation, as far as it can be understood, to an imaginable phenomenon, i.e., thousands of suns rising. Pretty, you can imagine what that would look like. Tatraikastam jagat kritsnam prabhibhaktam manekada apashya deva devasya shadire pandavastada. At that time, Arjuna could see in the universal form of the Lord the unlimited expansions of the universe situated in one place, although divided into many, many thousands. Purport. The word tatra there is very significant. It indicates that both Arjuna and Krishna were sitting on the chariot when Arjuna saw the universal form. Others on the battlefield could not see this form because Krishna gave the vision only to Arjuna. Arjuna could see in the body of Krishna many thousands of planets. As we learn from Vedic scriptures, there are many universes and many planets. Some of them are made of earth, some of them are made of gold, some are made of jewels, some are very great, some are not so great, etc. Sitting on this chariot, Arjuna could see all these, but no one could understand what was going on between Arjuna and Krishna. So they couldn't see what Arjuna see. You can imagine. Are you kidding me? You know, what is he looking at? Can you figure out what he's looking at? Okay. So, which verse am I on? 14, okay. Tata sa vishmaya vishto Rishtaroma Dhananjaya Pranamya Shidasa Devam Kutanjali Dabasta. Then, bewildered and astonished, his hair standing on end, Arjuna bowed his head to offer obeisances and with folded hands began to pray to the Supreme Lord. Purport. Once the divine vision is revealed, the relationship between Krishna and Arjuna changes immediately. Before, Krishna and Arjuna had a relationship based on friendship. But here, after the revelation, Arjuna is offering obeisances with great respect, and with folded hands, he's praying to Krishna. He is praising the universal form. Thus, Arjuna's relationship becomes one of wonder rather than friendship. Great devotees see Krishna as the reservoir of all relationships. In the scriptures, there are 12 basic kinds of relationships mentioned, and all of them are present in Krishna. It is said that he is the ocean of all the relationships exchanged between two living entities. That's the first words of the Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. Akala Rasamrita Sindhu. Akala Rasamrita Sindhu. That Krishna, Akala means all, Rasa means relationship, and Amrita Sindhu means the ocean of nectar of all the different relationships that you can have. That's why he's Krishna, all attractive. Okay. He is the ocean of all the relationships exchanged between the two living entities, between the gods or between the Supreme Lord and his devotees. Here Arjuna was inspired by the relationship of wonder. And in that wonder, although he was by nature very sober, calm and quiet, he became ecstatic. His hair stood up and he began to offer his obeisances unto the Supreme Lord with folded hands. He was not, of course, afraid. He was affected by the wonders of the Supreme Lord. The immediate context is wonder. His natural loving friendship was overwhelmed by wonder, and thus he reacted in this way. Okay, sorry, technical. Okay. Now Arjuna is going to offer his prayers now, which are very memorable. Arjuna vacha Pashyami devang tava deva dehe Sarvang satha bhuta vishesha sanghan Brahmanamisham kamalasanastham Vishingcha sarvan hudagangsta divyan. Arjuna said, "My dear Lord Krishna, I see assembled in your body all the demigods and various other living entities. I see Brahmā sitting on the lotus flower, as well as Lord Śiva, and all the sages and divine serpents." Purport. Arjuna sees everything in the universe. Therefore he sees Brahmā, who is the first creature in the universe, and the celestial serpent, upon whom the Garbhodakashayi Vishnu lies in the lower regions of the universe. This snake bed is called Vasuki. There are also other snakes known as Vasuki. Arjuna can see from the Garbhodakashayi Vishnu up to the topmost part of the universe on the lotus flower planet where Brahmā, the first creature of the universe, resides. That means that from the beginning to the end, everything could be seen by Arjuna, who was sitting in one place on his chariot. This was possible by the grace of the Supreme Lord, Krishna. So just one note on this for those who are interested. There are these three Vishnus who are expanded from Krishna for the creation. And all of them have the word, the Udaka, Karanodakashayi Vishnu, Garbhodakashayi Vishnu, and Kshirodakashayi Vishnu. So let's take those words apart, so if you encounter them when you read Prabhupada's books, you'll understand. The word Udaka means the ocean. So Karanodaka, because of the Sunday rules, means the causal. Karana means cause. Udaka is ocean, so the causal ocean. This is Mahavishnu. He's there in the corner. You can see there's a nice painting of him. But he's huge, because from the pores of his body and from his nose, he's breathing out, and all these universes come out in small form, millions of them. And then they gradually expand, and into each universe, he then expands as Garbhodakashayi Vishnu. Shai means resting. You know, Shai. So Karadaksha, he's resting on the ocean. I think the serpent carrier on the ocean of the causal ocean. And then there's all these universes, and then he expands as another Vishnu there. But there's no water there. So what's he going to lie on? So from perspiration, he fills up it's like a big egg, you know. So he's lying there. He also has a serpent body to lie on. So that's Garbhodakashayi. Garbha means like a fetus, because he's lying, it's covered universe, and he's lying there in the water, and then he gives birth to Brahmā by the navel, you know, it grows. There's no father. So it's like that. And then the third one is Kshirodakashayi. Kshira means the ocean of milk. And he has a planet in the universe. Eventually, I think it's like Dhruva-loka, the Shveta Dweep. So he's also lying in, it's white, because Shveta means white, because there's all milk, an ocean of milk there. So he's lying on there, and he expands into every atom and every heart as the super soul. So these are all Krishna in different forms. So when you hear those long words, you know what they mean. Karanodakashayi, Garbhodakashayi, and Kshirodakashayi. Kshira means milk. Kshirodakashayi Vishnu. Just to let you know. Okay. All right. It's getting late. So let me just tell you this miracle of the cane. So it was 2 days ago. Now, I don't know about all of you, but many of you have Wi-Fi in your house. You have a little router and everything. So I read somewhere some time ago that it's good to turn them off at night, because there's waves going, and you don't want to be exposed 24 hours a day to those waves. Anyway, so I do that. And I do that with my cane, because I have one of these little power strips that's then attached to the router, you know. So I reach down and I hit the thing and I turn it off. And then in the morning, I remember I have to turn it on. So I've been doing that for at least a year or more. So I did that at night, and then I got up in the morning. I got up usually around 2:30, early in the morning. And yes, I turned on the Wi-Fi, and I turned it on, and I did my business, take a shower and everything, ready to go. And then I was ready to go, and I couldn't find the cane. Where's my cane? It just disappeared. I said, it's not over there. It's not hanging on the doorknob. So I said, okay, I'll go off without the cane this time. So I didn't go to the temple, didn't have the cane. Then, by the time, and when everything was over, I was ready to go back to my apartment. I think I took a little massage. My wind was getting back. And I went into the area back here where the sink is, with the deities, after you get it. And there's my cane. It's a miracle. It's really spectacular, but I'll take every miracle I can take. That was nice. So I said, I had the cane. Now, one little backstory to the cane is that, why do I carry a cane? Because I don't limp. I don't have a limp. one morning, because I come every morning, I have a little apartment up here. It takes about 3 minutes to walk into the alley. So I'm walking, getting ready to go into the alley, and these two dogs, no human beings around, no leashes, no nothing, they're coming at me, you know. I didn't have the cane. So what did I have? I had my bright flashlight, and I shined it in their eyes, and then put them back, you know. So that's how I started taking the cane. Well, if it happens again, I'll have the cane, you know. So anyway, I'm going back with this cane, miracle cane, you know. Somehow, and in broad daylight, there was a dog. And there was also a person, but they had taken the leash off, and this dog didn't like me, you know. And so he's coming, so I pointed the cane at him, you know, like this, and he got off. And meanwhile, the lady was yelling at him, come back, you know. So I thought the whole thing came in handy, you know. So anyway, definitely Krishna took that cane, and he took it over here, and he put it in a place where I could see it. So you never know, you know. So that's... You know, I'll take miracles, even small ones like that. You know, it's not going to make the book, but it's okay. So that's one thing I want to mention. If you can try to get onto YouTube and hear this morning's class. It was extraordinary. Today is actually the day of Govardhan Puja, you know, officially. But we moved it to Sunday so many more people could attend. So Dharma Seder, this is his day, Tuesday. So he read, did you hear it? Oh, God. He read from a magazine called Krishna Kathamrita, which has been put out since the mid-90s by a devotee, I think in Orissa somewhere. Anyway, I know him, Madhavananda. And he was reading the story of Govardhan Puja. But there were so many incredible details that I'd never heard. And it was put together by Burijan's wife, Jagatarini. And she and Burijan, they've been living in Vrindavan now for 20, 30 years. And she's very intelligent. She was a professional actress, actually, when she joined, Australian, yeah. And it was just amazing, so many details. So if you can hear that, you know, you can get onto YouTube and hear this morning's class. They're all on there. Just listen to it. It's really amazing. And Dharma read it very nicely, you know. I'm going to try to get it a PDF, and if that, I'll share it with you. Because, you know, this is New Govardhan. And to have all these new details about it, Mahima knows, she heard it. So that's one thing. So now, it's time for a quick poem. Got to be that poem. When Krishna stopped King Indra's sacrifice, when Krishna stopped King Indra's sacrifice, that monarch of the heavens threw a fit. Those cowards took that foolish boy's advice. Such insolence I never shall permit. So Indra sent the clouds of devastation to pour down catastrophic hail and rain. With lightning, thunder, winds without cessation, the cowards called to Krishna in their pain to show his coward friends his boundless love and crush King Indra's pride for his own good. Shri Krishna lifted Govardhan above and saved his friends while 'neath the hill they stood. There you go. I love good. Okay, now we better adjourn, get ready for our tea. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you for coming, for your attention.